Hey guys, it's Dan for World of MrGrey, Dan Darth the Grey. That's getting really hard for me to say for some reason. I don't know why. I'm losing the motor of speech. I can't speak. But anyway, I want to talk about UFOs. Before we get into anything, full disclaimer, I've always said, I'm a firm believer that we are not alone in this universe. Now, I'm not saying that there's UFOs visiting us, there's aliens abducting us. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we cannot be the only living planet in this entire universe, galaxy, whatever. I just refuse to believe that in the 13.9 billion years of our universe's existence, and only the planet Earth in 4.5 billion years, and then humans about 1 million years ago, modern human. And we're it. I refuse to believe. I've always said that. I refuse to believe that we are it. We can't be. I think it's the most egotistical thing we can say that we are it. That being said, there's been a lot of UFO hysteria the last couple of weeks. I think it's the most UFO hysterics since the 1950s, if you ask me. It started off with that Chinese spy balloon, which might not be a spy balloon, which the US shot down after a couple of days. And there's footage there, it's pretty cool. And the balloon, China said it was a weather balloon blown off course. It's possible, I should say. But the US shot it down. Fair enough, it was over their territory, because we're bloody territorial. That's the way we are. But at least 3 or 4 other unidentified flying objects have been shot down over US and Canada over the last week. So we're going to go through some stuff. And there's a clip of Slapped Ham, which I briefly glanced at this morning in work, because I was having a lull in work, and it's hilarious. Like I said, I love UFO stuff. I grew up on X-Files. I'm a big fan of X-Files. I had a thing for bloody Scully, a very, very big thing when I was younger. When I was a little teenager full of hormones, and yeah, that's all I'll say. I'm a fan of UFO stuff. I know I do this paranormal stuff, and I just like making fun videos, but when it comes to UFO stuff, I'm a fan. I want to be. If you want to take me now, you're welcome. Just don't put things in me. The last couple of weeks now, the US and Canada have been having a little air show when it comes to shooting unidentified flying objects down. And 3 of them, I think, they said they don't know what they are. They one story goes that I think it was the US over Canada or Alaska shot down an octagonal shaped UFO. Now, we're using UFO because they're unidentified. It doesn't mean they're extraterrestrial. It just means unidentified flying object, okay? But I think we're a bit trigger bloody happy, if you ask me. Because, just think about it now. If first contact was to happen, we're just bloody shooting them down. No problem. No problem.
Greetings, humans. We have been observing your species for quite some time, and we thought it was finally come down to say hello.
Hello, alien species. Welcome to the most sophisticated planet you will ever find in this solar system. We are intelligent. We are advanced. We are the best thing that'll ever happen to you and your Federation.
On behalf of the Galactic Multicultural Federation of Species, we welcome you into...
We do not appreciate you coming on our territory and putting things in us and demanding that we bow to you. This is not the way the humans work.
We're not demanding anything.
Putting
No, calm down.
Butts, taking out sheep, taking out people. We do not like what we do not know. So in the safety of humanity, we are going to shoot you down. Be gone with you, aliens. I think we need some chill in our life when it comes to unidentified flying objects. And the other thing as well, which I think people don't quite realize, everyone assuming it's got to be extraterrestrial. It has to be extraterrestrial. It's unidentified, and it's oblong shaped, octagonal. Sorry, has to be extraterrestrial. But think about this now, right? If now, I'm not saying now, but if, right? Because we're in the aliens territory now. If aliens were visiting us, they wouldn't be in our actual solar system. Who knows? Maybe they're hiding behind bloody Jupiter. Who knows? But they wouldn't be in our solar system, so they would have to travel at close to light speed to get to us in in their lifetime. They'd have the technology, the propulsion system to get to us. Do you think that if they did get to us using their advanced technology, they came down, looked about, and then an F-16, from the Dark Ages, a vehicle from the Dark Ages basically, would just happily shoot it down and they would let it happen? Probably not. But that's sci-fi stuff, okay? But I think it's really interesting how we are reacting to these UFOs, unidentified flying objects. I think it's interesting how the government, I should say, are reacting to it. They're just trigger happy. They're just shooting them down, no problem. I mean, they probably spy stuff. Or weather balloons. There's a high possibility they are just weather balloons. Because when the balloon, I think it was last week, the US and the China were having back and forth in China, like, hey, oh, nothing to do with us, it's just a weather balloon. And US was like, you're spying on us. Why are you flying over that little part there where our nuclear depots are? Let's be honest, you fly over any part of America, they probably got a nuclear facility somewhere in that area, wherever you fly in America. The other big superpowers, you can guarantee they'll have a nuclear facility within like 10 miles of any airspace. Just saying. So they shot it down. And then other things started appearing. It's like only this last week. Now, I don't know if things are always appearing in the sky and it's just because it's in the media now that everyone's catching on to it. Every media site is like, oh my god, I saw this drone in the distance. It has to be a UFO. I just find it interesting how nuts we are going. But anyway, Busey, I know you shouldn't trust all media outlets, but this is one of them. The US put out a conference, I think it was this morning or yesterday, I can't remember now, about the most recent unidentified flying objects which they shot down. Oh, that's so funny. 3 unidentified objects, possibly benign basically saying they bugger all in them. The White House has said there's no indication 3 flying objects blasted out of the sky over the weekend by the US military are linked to alleged Chinese spying. The objects may be tied to commercial or research entities and therefore benign. See, because we're so trigger happy now, we're just shooting everything out of the sky. No, we're not checking on it first. We're not checking to see if there's any aliens in the cockpit. Or people, for that matter. They're just willy-nilly bloody sending bloody, what are they called? Missiles. I don't know what missiles they use. Can't remember what they're called. But we're just shooting them all out the sky. I think it's bloody hilarious. We're so knackered as a species, humans. We're so bloody in our own little self-centered ecosystem of our planet that we think everything outside is going to be a threat. This is why we will never make friends with aliens if they ever do visit us. This is why we can't have nice friends with nice propulsion systems and warp technology. I'm just saying. US and Canadian officials have not yet located or recovered any wreckage from the 3 downed aircraft. Beijing earlier accused the US of trigger-happy overreaction. I'm going to agree with that. I'm not having a go at the US government, I'm just saying I'm going to agree with that. A bit trigger-happy, I think we are. China has denied one of its balloons, which was destroyed by a US fighter jet earlier this month off South Carolina, was being used for espionage, saying it was merely a weather monitoring airship that had blown off course. Now, from reports, the balloon, which was blown off course, it did blow off course quite a few times. Quite around a few areas of America. They had to cross the Atlantic. I think it's the Atlantic, I don't know. Blown off course is a bit of a stretch, but who knows. At Tuesday's daily news conference, Mr. Kirby said it will be difficult to determine the purpose of or origin of the 3 other objects that were destroyed over Alaska, Canada and Michigan until the debris is found and analysed. We haven't seen any indication or anything that points specifically to the idea that these 3 objects were part of the People's Republic of China spying program. The White House National Security Council told reporters that they were definitely involved in external intelligence collection efforts. So basically what they're saying, it was either a spy thing or it was bugger all. There's no in between, like what else it could be. It's like either that. But still they shot it down without looking, if you ask me. It goes on. A leading explanation being considered by US intelligence was that these could be balloons that were simply tied to commercial or research entities and therefore benign. But he noted that no company, organisation or government had yet laid claim to the objects. And that's a little diagram where they were shot down. In the most recent strike over Lake Huron, I don't know if I'm saying that right, the first Sidewinder missile, that's the word I was thinking of, fired by a US F-16 warplane missed its target. The top US general has confirmed. First shot missed, second shot hit. For all these advanced F-16s and fighter planes we have, the world have, they missed the first shot. Now these objects which they're shooting at, they're not small. They're not like computer desk small. They're the size of fucking cars. So how are they missing the first shot for a start? Maybe it was like a shot off the bow or something, a warning shot to these aliens. Clearly aliens, I'm just saying. We go to great lengths to make sure that the airspace is clear and the backdrop is clear up to the max effective range of the missile. And in this case, the missiles the missile landed harmlessly in the water of Lake Huron. A spokesman for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs criticized the American response. Many in the US have been asking, what good can such costly action possibly bring the USS and its taxpayers? Sensors from the alleged Chinese spy balloon, that was the first one shot down last week, on 4th of February, recovered from the Atlantic Ocean on Monday and are being analysed by the FBI. Search crews found significant debris from the site, including all the priority sensors and electronic pieces identified. The Chinese balloon was being tracked by US intelligence since its liftoff from a base in Hainan Island. Shortly after takeoff, the balloon drifted towards the US islands of Guam and Hawaii before moving north towards Alaska, American officials told CBS. The unnamed officials say that its path indicates that it could have been blown off course by weather, but it was back under the Chinese control again by the time it reached the continental US. If it was blown off course, how could it suddenly be under control again? And the thing is, right, the thing I don't get with this spy balloon story, they have satellites. The Chinese have satellites, the US have satellites. Most superpowers have satellites. So I don't know why they would need a balloon to spy. I just don't. I'm leaning towards it was probably weather related or scientific reasons. I don't know. I don't think they would use a balloon to spy on other countries when they just move a satellite over. There's hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands. There's a lot of bloody satellites up there. From all countries, by the way. The US does it, the Chinese do it, we all do it. We all spy on each other because we're untrusting little shits. The entire US Senate received a classified briefing on Tuesday about the matter from military leaders. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Chuck is such a funny name, said the chamber would launch an inquiry into why the aircraft were not detected earlier. Meanwhile, Romania scrambled fighter jets on Tuesday to investigate an aerial object entering European airspace. Country's defense ministry said the pilots were unable to locate it and abandoned the mission after half an hour. Now, I don't know why they abandoned after half an hour. Maybe they realised they couldn't fight those aliens. But anyway, the problem is, in this day and age, there's so many private things you can do now to put UFOs up, like drones. It's mostly drones. You can buy a drone now off Amazon. You can buy a drone anywhere. Fly around and someone will take a video of it from like 2 miles away and think, that's a UFO. It's just the way it is now with all the technology we have. But what do you think? What do you think is going on? Do you think it's all spy stuff? Do you think we're just overreacting to every bloody thing in the sky now because of that one Chinese balloon? I think we're a bit nuts. If you ask me, I think we as a species are a bit flawed. Not a bit, a lot. Look at all the shit that's going on in the world right now with wars. All kinds of horrible, horrible shit. Yet we can't all band together and help each other. Can you imagine if we as a planet decided to work together? The things we could do. The things we could do if every country got together, worked together, stopped spying on each other, start trusting each other. Think of the world we could have right now. That's not me going all Star Trek on it. I'm just saying. It just annoys me. But we are too trigger happy. What if, I'm not saying they are, but what if an alien decides to visit our planet in their ship and the first thing we do is shoot them down? We'd never get into that federation of multicultural species. We'd never get in there. We'd be like, nah, you're not allowed in here. Go away, humans. It's so funny. But to finish off on that, it's just things on my mind I want to get out there. Going off on that, there was a clip from Slaptown I saw this morning. I thought it was hilarious. How do these people function in life? So we're going to have a quick look. Where's my headphones? We're going to have a quick look. Ow. Camilla Cabello. I don't know who she is. She's a singer, apparently. I'm sure a lot of you know. I don't, right? I'm just not up on that kind of music. I don't know. I'm just not up on any kind of music unless it's bloody video game stuff or movie stuff. But anyway, so this is the clip from Slaptown. We're going to finish off on this clip, and I think it's bloody hilarious. When I saw her in work this morning, I thought, what the? That's Camilla Cabello.
When singer Camilla Cabello appeared on The Tonight Show, she spoke to Jimmy Fallon about a recent encounter she had with a UFO. During a hiking trip in South America with her parents, she managed to capture a live photo that shows something rather unusual.
Now bear in mind it's a live photo.
In the photo, we can see a spherical object flying
Now let me move my big fat head out of the way.
across the sky at great speed. Seemingly too fast to be a bird, the object is hard to see unless the footage is slowed down. While Cabello claims that she's always been a skeptic when it comes to these kinds of things, it seems that she might have changed her tune after this encounter.
No, I'm glad she's skeptical. Okay? But we're going to break that footage down right now. Right, what's going on is... Now, don't forget it's a live photo. A live photo is basically, I think it's only on iPhones or maybe other phones, I don't know. Instead of when you take a photo, it's not a video, but when you take a photo and you hold your finger down, it takes about, say, I think it's 4 shots. And, you know, it's like, for those 4 shots, it moves. But it's not in 60 frames. I don't know exactly what frame rate it's at. But it's not 60 frames, I know that much. So when you take that photo, it captures about 4, maybe 6 frames of photographs and puts them into like a little live video or like a small tiny video. There's a couple of things to take note here, right? That's the UFO right there. So it appears out of nowhere on the first frame. Right, so that's there on the first frame. The second frame, if it was a UFO traveling at, it's not traveling at light speed, because if it was traveling at light speed, you wouldn't see it. Traveling however fast it's traveling, it's right there. On the third frame, it's like probably another mile away. Fourth frame, fifth frame, sixth frame, and then it disappears. Are people getting slightly stupid these days, which they don't understand what bugs look like? Now, the reason you can't see wings or nothing like that is because the bug is close to the lens. I've told this so many times about focal range matters when it comes to anything you are videoing, filming, taking photographs of. Focal range matters. People are right there, they're in the focal range, and at the guess, this is a guess, the person taking the photograph is about 15 feet away. The UFO, which for scientific reason we'll just call a bug, probably about 2 feet away from the camera which is taking the photo. So obviously when something's that close to it but the focal range is 15 feet away, it's going to be out of focus, so you won't see wings or nothing like that. You won't see legs. You'll just see like an amorphous blob, because the focus is not on the bug 2 feet away. The focus is 15 feet away on the people. And this is a common mistake made by people who don't understand photography or videos, or video cameras for that matter, or focal range and, you know, focusing. They don't understand focusing, basically. Right, so it's a bug. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. Okay, so because the other thing is, now if it's so funny, if it was a UFO, right? Don't forget, it starts off in that frame. It's just come into frame. If that was a UFO, at the guess, I don't know, a couple of thousand feet in the air, right? It would, if it was a couple of thousand feet in the air, or at least 1,000 feet at least, that would be the size of like a bus or something a bit larger. So as it goes away, it does change size. But if it's going at the speed it's supposed to be going for a UFO, it doesn't change size that much. By the time it gets to the far mountain, but there they say it goes behind the mountain. It doesn't go behind the mountain. It just skips frames and it dips below the camera. Look at the dot. The dot, can you see it? The UFO, is there. So somehow, going from there, which is the size of a truck, to there, it's the size of a small village now. So whilst travelling at hundreds of thousand miles an hour, not hundreds of thousands, what's light speed? 186 feet per second? Or miles per hour? I can't remember. I'm going off the top of my head. That's light speed. So if it's travelling at below light speed, by the time it got to that mountain, it grew in size to go behind the mountain to the size of a small village. Are you seeing the sense in this? Or the nonsense in this? If it was a UFO, it makes zero sense in that footage. It makes zero sense. It starts off as the size of a truck. Then as it goes to the mountain, it does dip a bit, but not enough. if it was the size of the truck, by the time we got to that mountain, which looked, again, judging by it, is about maybe 2 miles away, maybe 3 miles away. Or the tip of the mountain, at least, is about 3 miles away. If it was the size of a truck there, by the time we got there, you wouldn't even see it. You wouldn't even be able to notice it. So we're all taking crazy pills. Camilla, Cabello, I'm not saying you're nuts. I'm just saying, I appreciate your skepticism, but that photograph is just a bug. A bug about a foot or 2 feet in front of the lens. And this is the mistake people always make when photographing UFOs or making a video of UFOs. They misunderstand focal range and focus. And that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. I'm just heavy on the UFOs. I like UFO stuff, but the amount of bollocks there's more bollocks in UFO stuff than there is in paranormal stuff, if you ask me. I think so, anyway. But anyway, I'm not having a go. I'm just stating some facts. That's it. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you like this video. Leave something new to my channel. I do this quite often. I like UFOs, don't get me wrong, but I genuinely don't think they're visiting us. But I do believe there's something has to be out there. I'm just saying. But anyway, thanks for watching, and bye for now.